AARP recognizes the work, the time, the energies the family caregivers put into taking care of a loved one. And so the way that they were showing their appreciation was that they selected a recipient of a painted portrait from each state in the country, Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. And they wanted to show their appreciation to their loved ones, so they had a picture painted of them. There was a panel that reviewed the stories and then made a selection.
I think that AARP is onto something. Roy Kelly is taking care both of her father, who's older, and her husband, who has Parkinson's disease, Bill, who's here too. She represents hundreds of thousands of people in our state, millions of people across the country who are spending most of their time taking care of a family member. So we need to structure public policy in a way that takes cognizance of that fact, that that's the basic human condition, that sometimes people have to leave work for several years to take care of a sick child, a sick parent, or what have you. Those people should not lose their progress towards getting full Social Security benefits by being out of the workforce, and that's something we need to work on. And we need to structure our local governments, our state governments, federal public policy in order to bolster the people who are in this situation. I think it's a very happy time to have this act of love and sacrifice and commitment recognized in this way, and it's a beautiful portrait.
I'm so grateful to receive this award. I'm very emotional because I think about the caregivers that do it 24 hours a day and how it takes so much out of their own lives. I'm angry about some things, about the way caregivers are treated sometimes by doctors, and I'm worried about my financial future because I lost 3/4 of my income monthly, and then because I retired 7 years early, it impacts my future Social Security benefit by about 1/3 lower. And I had a lot of savings, but now it doesn't seem like I do because my income is reduced so much.
The best part is when the citizens get to be acknowledged for the things they do every day and that we never hear about because somebody just doesn't step up and offer to do anything. But it also makes a bigger picture how many people are really doing this. Say in this district or Montgomery County, taking care of parents and certainly not looking for any attention for themselves. They just do it because of love and taking care. I don't know. And there's nothing we could legislate that would make people do this. They do it out of their heart. They really do.
We try to recognize that caregivers are part of the continuum of care, meaning they need to be included in the care plan. They need to be talked to by the doctors and by the nurses. They need to know what is expected of them once that patient is theirs in the home 24/7. We're trying to move forward a piece of legislation that would require hospitals and doctors to designate a caregiver, and then provide them with the information, especially when a patient's going to be discharged or moved to another facility, and for that caregiver to be given instructions on how to care for that patient once they're at home.
If you find yourself in this situation where you want to take care of your loved one rather than having someone else do it, I suggest, first of all, that you take care of your finances, that you make sure you don't spend much money, because when it happens to you suddenly, you can't suddenly save more money, but you can reduce your expenses greatly. Not go to restaurants, not travel, not buy things unless you really need them. And to take care of yourself, to keep your friends in your life, take time out of every day to just be quiet, and just be relaxed and calm. And of course, walking helps a lot. You should walk every day, 30 to 60 minutes. That clears your mind and it keeps your body, your blood circulating, and it helps with everything, with you physically, so that you are able to take care of your loved one.
We're seeing all kinds of savagery around the world in these terrible terrorist attacks in Paris that killed hundreds of people, the downing of the Russian passenger airliner, over the Sinai Peninsula. I mean, thousands of people are dying in terrorist attacks all the time. The terrorists exploit and prey on human vulnerability. All of us can be killed, all of us can be wounded, but against that, we've got this incredible mobilization of human love and solidarity and compassion where people go out and take care of each other. And we have to thank the healing professions, the nurses, the doctors, the social workers, the emergency rescue workers, who are the first people in line to take care of people who are the objects of these kinds of attacks. But even beyond these extreme situations, every day there are people who are taking care of older people or younger people or sick people who need help. And that's something that we need to recognize, we need to celebrate it, and we need to give as much support as we can to.
Two other things that go along. Caregivers are predominantly women. They predominantly fall between the ages of 45 and 65, and they're in the earning years. And so what happens when a loved one gets sick, they usually have to take off or leave work early. That penalizes them. So that's some of the stress that they find, and they also need more support like respite, people to come in and help with that. And there's a limited amount of respite that's offered by the state, and we find that if we advocate for more services and programs for family caregivers, the better off they are. There are professionals, and it balances the continuum of care, but most of the care, in order for people, especially older Marylanders, to stay in their home, they're cared for by their family members, their spouse, their daughter, their granddaughter, in some cases maybe a very close neighbor or a distant relative. They are stressed out about the technical degree of medical tasks that they have to do. And so that the more information they get from the doctors and the hospitals and the nurses, and they're made a part of the continuum of care, the less stressed out they seem to be. So they are doing more and more highly technical medical skills than they have.
My husband is a disabled veteran in the sense that he trained and was a jump master in the Army Reserve, and he did 52 parachute jumps, and it injured his back. He has Parkinson's disease and some dementia. My husband and my father are very, very important to me. They're very close to me. They're both of them like close friends, really. My father's a confidant, and my husband is a part of me, and whatever happens to my husband happens to me. That's how I feel. In whatever way my father is living alone, I feel like I'm living there too, even though, so I guess it's just extreme empathy.